Keble College, Oxford.
I'm Ali Rogers, the Tutor for Admissions.
And I'm India, I'm the Access and Outreach Officer here.
And we're going to tell you why Oxford could be the right place for you.
I think what might surprise people is the fact that we don't necessarily just want to say to them, you 100% need to come to Oxford, because it does have to be the right decision for a prospective student.
So our job is to try to give people the right information that they need to make a good decision.
So I guess, how would you make that decision? First of all, you need to actually know how Oxford is different from other universities. So what do you think is more important?
Okay, there are two things that make Oxford different from most other universities. I think the first of those is that Oxford is a collegiate university. So as well as being a member of your department and university, every student is a member of a college. And the college, therefore, is like a small community that breaks down the wider student population into small, more manageable, sort of, familiar groups.
I describe it as being a bit like a form group sometimes. So when you're in a school, a lot of people will be in a form, and there might be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 form groups in a year group. And then that breaks down the year group into much smaller chunks where you can get to know people better and you can ask for help more easily, but you're still working towards the same qualifications as your friends in other form groups. And that is kind of how our colleges work.
Okay, and then the second major difference is that the way that we teach. And Oxford teaches through what we call the tutorial systems, like small group teaching. So there'll be sort of you, a couple of other students, and an academic, and you'll be in a room maybe for an hour talking about some discussion. You've done some preparation beforehand. You might have written an essay or completed a problem sheet, some sort of assignment. And the onus is pretty much on you to do the work. The academic's not like a lecture is going to tell you what the right answer is. It's you and your colleagues, your other students, are going to have to do all the work.
Yeah, so it's very different to school, but it's also quite different to other universities as well, where you might be taught more in large groups, like lectures is the bulk of your teaching. And I think for that reason, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Oxford is really hard work and you have to be studying all of the time. Actually, I think what it means is that you just have to really like what you're actually studying here. So like, if you are applying for the subject that's wrong for you and, you just think that you're doing it because it's going to get you a good job or because it's something that all of your friends expect you to do, actually, you're probably going to find that teaching style really quite hard work. Whereas if it's something that you are genuinely passionate about and genuinely motivated by, that's something that we're actively looking for in the selection process. And it's why your course choice is so important, which is, I guess, another thing which is useful for us to talk about.
Yeah, so we'd recommend that you do as much research as you can into the courses that we have here, because there might be core things that you're not used to from school, or the thing that you do at school might not be the same as the thing that's done at university. So look on the department website, figure out what happens in the research in the course, maybe for the first year, second, third, fourth year, if it's got a fourth year course, and find out and check that it's the right thing for you to do.
So college choice actually isn't part of the selection process at all. Because the colleges all teach the same standard. They don't necessarily all offer all courses, but all colleges will offer most courses. So you don't get one that's just for history and one that's just for maths. So you'll get a variety of different subjects in each college. I think sometimes people waste a lot of time, to be quite honest, thinking about the ins and outs of which college they'd like to put as their preference on UCAS, when actually it is all about course choice. And technically, when you apply to Oxford, you could actually be considered by any of the colleges which offer the course that you're applying for. Although we are talking to you from Keble College, which is really nice.
Because it's worth pointing out, I think something like a third of the undergraduates at Oxford are at a college that they didn't choose, they didn't put down on the application form. And if you ask people, do you like your college? They'll all say, whatever college they're in, yes, I really like it. And they'll all say, whichever college they're in, my college is the best one in Oxford.
Yeah, which makes them quite a difficult source of information to trust. But I think what's also really important to acknowledge is the fact that we know a lot of people are actually really nervous or have a lot of kind of misconceptions going around their heads about this university. So sometimes somebody can maybe come on an open day and say to us, you have my perfect course. I really like the idea of living in a college. And I think it sounds really interesting to study my course using the tutorial system. But then they say, but I don't think I'd fit in here, or I'm not confident enough to apply. And you say, well, okay, but if you can tick all three of those boxes, it sounds to us very much like you should be making an application. So I would really, really encourage people to actually do the research on the course choice, make sure that they speak to as many people as possible at the university. There's lots of helpful ways that you can do that online. You can come to open days. We do lots of different events here. And just make sure that actually the misconceptions you have the opportunity to really kind of demystify them for yourself before you actually apply.
Yeah. So I think what we're saying is that, if this university does the right course for you and it looks good, then we will really want you to apply, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
Don't
lots of different ways that you can look up online, like different information about the courses. You can get your questions answered. And actually, if you found that we've got something that's right for you and that you can fulfill all of the selection criteria, so things like, for instance, different qualifications, do you study the right subjects at the moment? Genuinely, the university really does want you to apply.
Yeah.
Like, we would love to see your application.
Okay. I guess that's all from us.
I think so. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much for joining
Bye.
us.